Hey guys, stop waiting, please, for your marriage problems to fix themselves. Hi guys, we're Jeff and Maggie now, founders of Wedlock Warriors, and we are here with some tips and advice. We like to call it Warrior Wednesdays, where we just get online here for a live video where we just give some quick tips and advice on working through some different things in your marriage, hopefully to make it better, stronger, and more happy as we go forward. Why should you listen to us? Well, we like to say that we came from disaster to dynamite. And basically, we're on the other side of the minefield that a lot of people find themselves in right now if you're struggling in your marriage. And so we've made it to the other side of that minefield, happy and healthy, and with all of our limbs and everything attached. So the best way to cross that minefield is to follow in the footsteps of somebody that's already been across it. And that's where we come in. Now, you can read about our story, how incredibly disastrous it was, and where we came from on our website, wedlockwarriors.com, where you can also download the free report, the 5 immediate steps you're going to need to take to start rebuilding your marriage today. It's absolutely free. Me and Maggie put it together, put a lot of thought into it. It's the 5 most important steps. Without these 5 steps, or if we left one of them out, there would be no Jeff and Maggie, where hopefully you guys can use that information to better your marriages as well and make them stronger. So tonight's topic is one that I think we hear a lot about in different ways. We hear it a lot, or we see it a lot, I should say, is people waiting for their marriages to fix themselves or their marriage problems to work themselves out over time. And we're here to say, stop with that thinking and let's address some of that.
Absolutely. And what are we talking about when we say waiting for it to get better? I've heard people say things like, boy, I hope it gets better next year. Or they'll say something like, if we just had a bigger house, everything would be so much easier. Or if we made more money, everything would be better.
Or we got out of debt.
Exactly, exactly. Or if the kids were just a little bit older, everything would be so much easier.
Or a better job.
Right. Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So all of these things, guys, they sound like solutions, but if your marriage is struggling, they are not solutions. They're not. There's an underlying problem. And what I like to think of it is like if you were getting ready to go to bed, and you lay down to go to bed, and you smell smoke, would you just say, well, hope that goes away before morning?
Roll over,
right?
Snuggle up.
No, you go figure out where that smoke is coming from. So if you're having an issue in your marriage or something that's making you struggle, thinking one of those things that we talked about at the beginning of this would make it better, you've got smoke in your room. You need to figure out where that's coming from.
Yeah, guys, it's really important once you start. I mean, if you read the report, and hopefully you go to the website and get the free report, but we talk about society, and society doesn't want you to get married, or doesn't want you to be married, and there's all these outside pressures on you all the time. And so if you don't address the issues in your marriage when they start, they're just going to continue on and get worse. And that's how you end up in a really, really bad situation where it's been years into the marriage and you haven't solved any problems, and it becomes harder. And so one of the first things you're going to want to do is understand it is going to take some time. And there's a book called thank you. Couldn't think of the book I was trying to tell you to read. It's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Now, it isn't a traditional marriage book. I don't think he mentions marriage in it at all. It's actually a business education book. But the principles that he teaches in that book, The Slight Edge, I wonder if I got it sitting here.
I'll look for it. You keep talking.
Hold on, okay, it's over there. Find it. Oh, there it is. Cool. So here's the book. It's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And so definitely go get a copy of this, and it's going to teach you the principles of incremental changes over time and how big of an impact that'll make in your life and in your marriage if you read the book and understand the concept and take it to heart. So definitely get a copy of this book as step one in kind of fixing the procrastination or the ignoring part of the problems in your marriage.
Very good. Yeah, sometimes people will ask us, we don't know where to start. Well, they'll say, where do we begin reading? What do we start doing? That's a great starting point for you, is to pick up that book.
Yes.
And what does the slight edge look like in your marriage? It looks a lot like what we had talked about a couple of weeks ago when we said serve your spouse even if they're not serving you back, and take those steps toward them even if they're not reciprocating. So those are those little steps, those incremental steps toward a better marriage. Stop saying negative things about your spouse in public. Stop saying negative things to your spouse directly. You know, those little steps. and you won't see results immediately. You know, think about when you're building a house, the first day, it does not look like a house. It looks like a hole, doesn't it?
Because it is a hole.
Exactly. You
Right.
dig that foundation first, and it's a hole. It's not a house.
Right.
But you know that it's going to be a house if you keep every day doing those steps that you need to do to build it.
Yeah, little steps over time make a huge, huge difference, guys. And here's the deal. A lot of times we hear people say, how long will it take to rebuild a marriage? And it kind of goes along the same lines as what we're talking about tonight. And that is, it just takes incremental changes over time. And that the big part is it's two parts. You can't have one without the other. You can't make changes and expect immediate results. And you can't let time continue without making changes or nothing happens. So you join those two together, incremental changes over time, yields huge, huge results. Guys, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the minute little changes that we made over time in our marriage that reaped huge.
Still making
and we're still making those changes.
Still making
yes.
those changes to get
At least you are. Well, I am. Wait. No, we are. And hopefully you guys can understand where we're coming from. We're going to get a visitor here. Come on in, Kat. When we say these things to you, because it's really important for you to grasp the idea of where we're coming from. And definitely get on our website, read more about it. But if you could just understand that it's just incremental changes over time are going to make a huge difference in your life, and start digesting the concepts of this book, The Slight Edge, and see how it applies to your life, even though there's nothing about marriage in it, it's going to make a big difference. Guys, we're Wedlock Warriors. We love you. Visit our website for more information, but we are Wedlock Warriors, real life.
Real question.
Real answers. Short and sweet tonight. Love you. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry about last week. Wait, there's Johnny.
No.
It's all right. Get out of here. Sorry about last week. We missed you last week. We had our internet down, so that's an apology. We're up and running now, just like normal. So you shouldn't miss again. Have a good one. Bye.